Hello there, my name is Richard McMahon from the interview training company PassMyInterview.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to pass an Amazon Leadership Principles interview. So if you have either a manager or leadership interview coming up with Amazon, please make sure you watch this tutorial from beginning to end because it will make a huge difference to your preparation. Now, Amazon has 14 leadership principles, and during your interview preparation, my advice is to learn them, understand them, and then also be able to give examples of where you have previously demonstrated these important leadership principles in prior situations. So this tutorial is going to make a huge difference to your preparation, and this is how I will achieve that. I'm going to tell you what the Amazon leadership principles are and why they are so important to your interview preparation. I will then give you sample Amazon leadership interview questions. I will give you suggested example answers to those leadership interview questions. I will also give you 3 questions that I recommend you ask at the end of your Amazon leadership interview. And I will also give you further resources to help you be the standout candidate during your Amazon interview. So there's 5 really good reasons why you should watch this from beginning to end. Now, before I get into the content, a very warm welcome to this Amazon Leadership Principles training tutorial. My name is Richard McMahon. That's me there in the center. I've been helping people for over 20 years now to successfully pass their interviews, and I always do that by giving you top scoring answers to the interview questions. Please do make sure you subscribe by clicking the red button below the video, and then you won't miss out on any of the weekly training videos I am uploading. And also make sure you turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out. Please also give the video a like. Thank you very much. That tells me you enjoy the content, and I will therefore spend more time creating it for you. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to. My LinkedIn link is in the description below the video. It's always good to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Okay, let's now get into the training tutorial. Please do take notes. So what are the 14 Amazon leadership principles and why are they so important? Now, before I get into those interview questions and answers that are based around the principles, we need to quickly look at what those 14 Amazon leadership principles are. So I have created this blueprint for you that tells you what they are, but I have also put a little line underneath each principle to explain what it means. And I will tell you at some stage where you can download these slides to save you having to write down notes if you don't want to. So the first one, and in no particular order, is customer obsession. Now, I have put this up first because I believe one of the main reasons, if not the standalone reason, why Amazon has been so successful since it first started many years ago is because it obsesses about customers. It puts customers at the heart of everything it does. So the first leadership principle is customer obsession. The number one most important person in Amazon is the customer. And that is why they've been so successful, because Amazon focuses on the customer in everything they do. So in preparation for your interview, think about a time when you've gone above and beyond what is required for a customer. Another Amazon leadership principle is earn trust. So as a leader and a manager, you should treat people with respect. You have to earn their trust. And once you do, they will achieve great things for you. Another Amazon leadership principle is hire and develop the best people. So as a leader, you will move forward and improve continually by hiring and developing the best people available. So every time you hire someone for your team, think about how they can help Amazon grow and move forward as an organization. And as a leader, you have to think big. You should have huge ambitions and you should go out of your way for the customer in everything you do. So if you think historically about the kind of products and services Amazon has brought to us as customers, they are fantastic. They have changed the way that we do things. They have changed the way that we shop. They have totally radicalized the way that products are delivered for customers. And that's only going to continue to improve with drone delivery, for example. They implemented the e-reading device, the Kindle, and changed the way that we read. So they are always thinking ahead and thinking big. Bias for action. So this is getting things done. Now, I've been in business for about 15 years. And I believe one of the reasons why I've been successful is because I always take action. I get things done. So as a leader, you need to demonstrate in previous situations where you have managed to achieve great things. Talk about what you do during your day, you take action continuously, and you are prepared to learn. Another Amazon leadership principle is that leaders are right a lot of the time. So as a leader, you should have strong judgment skills. So you can look at situations and you can make the right decisions despite perhaps being under pressure. Now, another great Amazon leadership principle is that you should always insist on the highest standards at all times. So this is about demonstrating you can work to high standards always. You never cut corners. So in your preparation for your Amazon leadership interview, think about a time or times when you have insisted on the highest standards. Perhaps it might have been an unpopular decision amongst the team, but you've said, no, we're going to do things the right way. Another Amazon leadership principle is diving deep. So you looking into things deeply and analysing data and information to get results. This is one of my favourite Amazon leadership principles. Ownership. Are you somebody, and you should be as a leader, who takes ownership of situations and you are responsible and accountable? Have you ever worked for a company where somebody or in the team says, when something goes wrong, that's not my fault, it's somebody else's fault? That happens a lot in organisations, but it doesn't happen in Amazon. So people in Amazon, leaders, will take ownership. Yes, we will take ownership of that situation. Let's resolve it and get it sorted out. So you need to be somebody who takes ownership. You should also be someone who is willing to learn and be curious. You have to improve, develop, and ask questions to find out why you are doing things. Frugality. This is about achieving things with less. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to achieve great things. So you are always having one eye on the finances within your department. You should also have backbone, be willing to disagree with people and then commit. This is not about falling out with people. It's about having the backbone to stand up and say, I don't agree with that. Let's try things a different way. But then committing. So challenge decisions and then commit. Invent and simplify. You should be able to lead teams that innovate and invent, that are always looking forward and coming up with great ideas, and also delivering results. Amazon leaders and managers deliver results. So you get things done properly to a high standard and in a timely manner. So those are the 14 Amazon leadership principles. That is a brilliant blueprint that you can use during your preparation. I will tell you where you can download that at some stage during this training tutorial. So as I say, I'll tell you where you can download that blueprint soon. But let's get into those sample interview questions and example answers to Amazon's leadership principles. Here we go. Here's the first one, which is my favorite: customer obsession. So as I mentioned, Amazon has won the online retail battle for one reason. It obsesses about its customers. It puts customers first in everything it does. And that's why customers keep going back to them. So Amazon doesn't worry too much about its other competitors online, but instead it focuses on the customer because it knows if it does that, it will always win. Nobody has managed to challenge Amazon. And the reason for that is because they always focus on the customer. So let's take a look at a sample Amazon leadership interview question that is on the principle of customer obsession. And the one I want you to prepare for is: describe a time when you went above and beyond what was expected to help a customer. So describe a time when you went above and beyond what was expected to help a customer. So when you are answering these kind of questions, my advice is to use a STAR technique. So the STAR technique stands for situation, task, action, result. And this will make sure that your answer is specific in nature. So you're not telling them what you would do in this kind of situation. You are telling them what you have done. And that is very important. So you start off with your answer and you describe the situation you were in. You then move on and explain the task that needed to be done. You then tell them the action you took to achieve that task. and you then finish off and reveal the results of your actions. So whenever you get asked an Amazon principal leadership interview question, think about the STAR technique: situation, task, action, result. Now, for all of the sample answers that are going to follow for the remainder of this tutorial, I use the STAR technique to help you. Here we go. So describe a time when you went above and beyond what was expected to help a customer. I can remember a number of occasions when I would go above and beyond for a customer. One particular time comes to mind when I was speaking to a customer on the telephone about a product they had recently ordered from our website. The product had, unfortunately, become damaged by the courier company, and they needed to return it for a replacement. However, there was an additional issue in the fact the customer really needed to use the product the next day, yet they were unable to due to the damage that had been caused. I put myself in the shoes of the customer, and I could genuinely feel her frustration. I decided to take ownership of the situation and resolve the problem for her, as it genuinely was not their fault the issue had occurred in the first place. I kept the customer online whilst I sourced a new guaranteed delivery courier company, who was able to pick up and deliver a new replacement product within 24 hours. After some quick searching, I managed to find a company, and whilst the customer was still on the line, I facilitated the order. I then informed the customer that we would have a new product with her in time for the following day, which she was absolutely thrilled about. The following morning, I called the customer back to make sure the product had actually arrived in time, which it had done. The customer then went on to leave a glowing review of our company, and I'm pleased to say she's been a regular customer ever since. Now, that is a great example of somebody going above and beyond what is expected. And my advice in your answer to this question is to give a situation when you really have gone above and beyond. Think about what a company would do and then try and improve on it. So the majority of companies would never do that. By giving that example, you are showing that you really can go above and beyond. Let's now take a look at another Amazon leadership principle interview question based on the principle of ownership. So ownership is where, as a leader, you have to take ownership of situations. Now, I mentioned before, have you ever worked with somebody in a team and they say, oh, that's not our fault, that's not my fault, someone else caused that problem? Leaders who work for Amazon don't do that. So don't be a person who says, well, it wasn't really my problem. Somebody else caused that issue. Take ownership. Go, right, let's sort it out, because we are all collectively working for Amazon. So when you work for Amazon, be responsible, take ownership, and have the customer at the heart of everything you do. So remember, you are working for a great organization where everybody is working to achieve that same goal. Let's take a look at a sample answer for that question, which is, tell me about a time when you failed at work. So this is a sample Amazon leadership principle interview question that is focused on taking ownership. Now, we all fail at work. Do not say during your answer to this interview question, I have never failed. We all fail, but it's how we deal with that situation. So tell me about a time when you failed at work. Here we go. I don't like to fail, but if I do, I always take ownership. I put things right. And above all, I view it as an opportunity to learn, grow and develop. Now, during a challenging and exciting project at work in a previous role, I was part of a team of talented people who were working on the creation of a new product for an important client. Now, the task required us to work together as a team and use our combined expertise and experience to create the product for the client within very strict timescales and specifications. The project should have been a breeze, simply because we had done this type of work together many times before. We started out as usual with the project manager giving the team the usual brief. I can remember thinking the brief was perhaps not clear enough for the specification required by the client, but I chose not to say anything, which ended up being a huge mistake. Partway through the project, it became apparent we had missed a very important specification of the product, which ended up putting us 2 weeks behind schedule. Now, although the client was forgiving and he allowed us additional time to complete the project, we had failed to deliver on our promises as a team. During the team debrief, I disclosed I had concerns during the initial team briefing, but I chose not to say anything. I apologised for not doing so, and then as a team we learned a lot from that experience, and moving forward the same issue never happened again. What I love about that kind of answer is that you are saying, yes, I have failed before, but I'm taking responsibility for it. Now, some people would say in that situation, it's the project manager's fault. He or she didn't give a thorough brief. But you are saying, no, I thought something was wrong and I didn't say anything. That demonstrates you are an honest person. You take responsibility and you take ownership, and then you look to move forward and you learn from the situation. That's a brilliant answer. Let's now take a look at another Amazon Leadership Principle interview question, which is deliver results. Don't forget, if you are enjoying this, please do subscribe and also hit the like button. That tells me you enjoy the content, and then I'll spend more time, as I say, creating it for you. Thank you. So, delivering results. This is all about overcoming problems and obstacles with vigor, resilience, and determination. So to work for Amazon, you need to be a results-driven leader who has the ability to overcome difficult challenges and problems. So what kind of question could we get asked? Describe a time when you overcame a difficult challenge at work. Now, this has to be a difficult challenge, one that you demonstrated determination and resilience. So here is my suggested answer. In my previous job, a long-standing client who had brought in good business for a number of years made contact with us to say he was moving to a new service provider and that he no longer required our services. This was bad news for the company, and I saw it as my responsibility to try and keep hold of his business. Now, although this would be a difficult challenge, the impact of losing the customer would be significant for our company from a financial perspective. I reached out to the customer by telephone and asked him to meet me the next day over lunch. He agreed, and in the time period between the telephone call and the meeting, I did my homework. I looked at how we could improve the service we currently provided for him, and I also looked at the options surrounding what he was paying for our services. Now, at the meeting, I asked him lots of questions about how our service could be improved and what we could do to keep his business. Now, it quickly became apparent he no longer felt valued as a customer with our company. Now, after a couple of hours of discussions, I managed to keep hold of his business by offering a new tailored service that would mean we provided a closer working relationship with him. When I returned to the office, I immediately implemented a review of all clients to make sure we never had the same situation again where a client felt devalued. So that is an example of where you have overcome a really difficult challenge. You have thought outside the box, you've took ownership of the situation, and you have also looked to improve. So you've identified there's a problem, but you have resolved it moving forward. Now, most people would just leave the client and say, okay, thank you for your business, good luck in the future. But with this situation, you've gone out your way to try and keep them. That's a great answer again. Let's take a look at another one, another Amazon Leadership Principle interview question. Now, this is based around have backbone, disagree, and commit. So, if you think something is wrong, challenge it in a constructive and professional manner. It is okay to disagree, but always make sure you fully commit to the decision made. Now, I have a managing director who works as part of my company, and he is constantly challenging me on decisions. I love that because we always then come up with the right decisions for the company. So when you disagree with people, always do it constructively and professionally. Never be childish, never get confrontational, but say, I don't agree with that, and these are the reasons why. So look for the benefit. Yes, give your opinion, but look for the benefit to the company in the decision that you are making. So let's have a look at a sample interview question based around have backbone, disagree, and commit. And that is, tell me a time when you had a disagreement with somebody at work. Now, I'm not talking about a petty disagreement. I'm talking about a disagreement here that looks to improve the company. So here's a great answer to this interview question. I was working in an office and a customer emailed the team to complain about the errors they had found in one of our company newsletters. The newsletter was created periodically by another department within the organisation, and its purpose was to generate new business for the company. I took a look at the newsletter and I was shocked at the number of errors that were contained within it. I felt it was my responsibility to raise the issue with the department responsible for the creation of the newsletter, so we could explore ways in which it could be improved. It was my view that the newsletter, in its current format, was letting the business down. I spoke to the manager of the department and I was met with an immediate defensive attitude. I was basically told to mind my own business, and he disagreed with my suggestion the newsletter should be improved. However, I persevered. and I outlined the benefits of what a strong newsletter could bring to the company. I also offered to proofread the newsletter before it went out, as this would then enable me to suggest different ways in which we could improve the newsletter and then use it as leverage for new business. After some perseverance and tactful relationship building skills, the manager agreed with me, and he agreed for me to work with the team to improve the newsletter. Now, 6 months after I initially made contact, the newsletter was seen as an integral part of the business, and it was responsible for helping to promote new products and also offer incentives and discounts for our loyal customer base. That is a great example of where someone has gone above and beyond to overcome a difficult challenge at work. Now, of course, most people may say when they spoke to the manager and they were met with that defensive attitude, they would go, okay, I would leave it. But this person has gone above and beyond, and they've persevered, outlining the benefits of what that strong newsletter can do to the company, and also using tactful relationship building skills and then offering to help out by proofreading that newsletter. That's a really good answer to that question. So, what questions should you ask in your Amazon leadership interview? I'm going to come on to them in a second, so please do stick around. But if you want to download these slides, plus that Amazon blueprint, if you click the link in the top right-hand corner of the video, it will take you through to my website, PassMyInterview.com, where you can download a copy of these slides and that blueprint to help you during your preparation. So, what are those 3 questions? I recommend you ask these at the end of your Amazon interview, because they will say to you, okay, the interview's over. Do you have any questions you would like to ask us? This is what I would ask. What are the plans for Amazon over the next 5 to 10 years, and how could I help you in this role to achieve them? So that question demonstrates that you are thinking ahead long term. You want to stay with Amazon for a long period of time. Amazon is always bringing out new products and services. What are the next great innovations Amazon is concentrating on right now? Now, they might not disclose them to you, but this is a great example of a question that's saying, what products are Amazon bringing out in the future, because you are interested in them. What's the first thing you would like me to concentrate on in this role? What's the first thing you would like me to concentrate on in this role? Those are 3 really good questions that you can ask at the end of your Amazon interview. So don't forget, if you want to download these slides, click that link in the top right-hand corner. I hope you've enjoyed that tutorial. I love teaching you guys. Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. Please give the video a like. Thank you very much. And don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments section below the video. Thank you for watching. I wish you all the best for passing your Amazon interview. Have a brilliant day.